If you're a parent watching your teenage son struggle with the pornography habit, probably spent sleepless nights wondering why. Why is he choosing a screen over real life? Why does he seem so distant, so angry, or completely shut down? And you might think that the core issue is just a high sex drive or a lack of moral willpower or the inescapable grip of high speed internet. But as a psychotherapist who has spent years in the trenches with these boys, I'm here to tell you that what looks like a sexual problem is almost always an emotional processing problem. There is a direct, deeply entrenched connection between pornography addiction in teen boys and their inability to express or to even identify their own emotions. When a teen boy cannot speak his pain, he numbs it. And today, the most accessible, high potency numbing agent in the world is sitting right in his pocket. So, how do we break this script? It starts with you. Today, we are going to look at the research behind this emotional stagnation and give you the literal tools to help him rebuild his emotional muscles. Well, parents, let's look at the psychology here. As boys enter adolescence, society often hands them a very rigid, unhealthy script about masculinity. They're told to man up, to hide vulnerability, and to suppress fear, sadness, anxiety. But those emotions don't just disappear. They look for an exit route. And relevant research into adolescent addiction consistently shows a phenomena called alexithymia, which is a clinical term for the inability to identify and describe emotions in oneself. And when a teen boy lacks the vocabulary or the emotional development to say, well, I feel rejected, or I feel invisible, or I'm terrified of failing, his nervous system goes into overdrive. He experiences a state of hyperarousal or deep dysphoria. His brain is desperate for a homeostasis, for chemical relief. Enter pornography. Pornography acts as an immediate artificial neurological pacifier, floods the brain with dopamine, temporarily wiping out the underlying anxiety or loneliness. But here is the tragedy. Because he uses pornography to bypass his feelings, his natural emotional expression muscles remain completely underdeveloped. His emotional growth is literally stagnated at the age that the addiction took hold. This is why emotional rehabilitation becomes the absolute cornerstone of the treatment plans that I designed for teen boys entering therapy for pornography addiction. We can't just stop the behavior, we have to heal the emotional stuntedness that drives it. Well, parents, how do we actually begin to fix this at home? First, we must we must move from interrogation to conversation. When parents discover a porn issue, the natural fear-based reaction is to interrogate. Are you watching it? How often? Why would you do that? What websites? And this immediate interrogation triggers shame, and shame causes a teen to slam the emotional vault shut. He will lie, minimize, and isolate further. Instead, we need to shift the narrative entirely. Don't just ask, "Are you watching porn?" Instead, talk to him about the profound difference between a digital screen and a human soul. Talk to him about what a real human being is, an actual person with feelings, complex emotions, families, and dreams, and explain to him pornography is essentially a stunt performance. Think about it. When you watch an action movie, you know the actor didn't actually jump out of an exploding building. It's a choreographed, highly manufactured stunt performance. It isn't real life. Well, pornography is exactly the same. It's a manufactured stunt performance of intimacy. It strips away human soul, the vulnerability, and the actual relationship, leaving a hollow caricature. So by framing it this way, you take the target off him as the bad kid and place the focus on the deception of the medium. You invite him into a high level conversation about reality versus illusion. Second, we need to model emotional awareness ourselves as parents. As I mentioned, so many teen boys have underdeveloped emotional muscles. If they cannot identify their own emotions, they will never be able to respect or navigate emotions of a partner in a real relationship. So we, as parents, we have to help them label their feelings, but teenage boy isn't just going to sit down and volunteer this information. You have to model it first. So show him what healthy emotional expression looks like in your own life. Say things like, look, I had a really frustrating day at work today. I felt incredibly unappreciated, and it made me feel anxious. And I noticed I wanted to just zone out on my phone, but I realized that I just needed to talk about it. And when you notice him getting angry or shutting down, don't meet his anger with anger. Help him untangle the knot. Say, hey, I see you slamming the door. I know you're angry, but underneath that anger, are you stressed about school? Are you feeling overwhelmed? And by giving him the words, you are literally acting as his emotional prosthetic until his own emotional muscles grow. You are showing him that emotions are not dangerous, they're not unmanly, and they can be spoken instead of medicated with a screen with pornography. Well, parents, this brings us directly to the third and the most vital step, and that is practicing identifying and expressing emotions daily. Understanding emotional awareness in theory is a great start, but it means nothing without consistent daily action. So think of it like physical fitness. If your son wants to build his biceps, he can't just read a book about weightlifting. He has to actually pick up the dumbbells and do the repetitions. In rebuilding stagnated emotional development, well, it works the exact same way. He has to exercise his emotional expression muscles every single day. In this practice, it can happen individually through things like journaling and short daily check-ins with you as a parent or with trusted friends or in structured therapy sessions. The environment matters less than the consistency. A highly effective framework to teach your teen is the I feel messaging model. This is a simple two-part exercise where the teen identifies one or two specific emotions and then does the actual psychological labor of describing why he feels that way. For example, instead of letting him grunt, I'm fine, or I'm just pissed, you guide him to use the model. Well, I feel anxious and overwhelmed because I have 3 tests tomorrow and I don't feel prepared, or I feel rejected because my friends didn't invite me to sit with them at lunch today. And it sounds simple to an adult, but for a teen boy whose emotional growth has been stunted by pornography, this is heavy lifting. In the beginning, it will feel clunky and uncomfortable for him, and he might resist it. But by forcing his brain to connect a physiological sensation to an actual emotion and then vocalizing the root cause, he is actively rewiring his brain. He is learning that he doesn't need to run to a screen or to pornography to escape a feeling when he has the power to name it, face it, and speak it. Well, parents, I want to speak directly to you that are feeling overwhelmed right now. I know that for many of you, a simple talk isn't going to cut it. The pull of the digital world is incredibly strong, and the algorithms are aggressive, and the addiction might already be deep rooted. Well, and this is exactly why I always advocate for using the recovery toolbox for teens. Please understand the recovery toolbox for teens isn't just a filter or a blocking software. Filters are easily bypassed by a tech savvy teen, and the recovery toolbox is an evidence-based, highly structured program designed to heal the family system. It provides you, the parent, with the specific exact scripts that you need to guide the recovery process step by step. It's about replacing that toxic, hidden, pornographic script with the script of healing, vulnerability, and radical honesty. And it's the most comprehensive outpatient resource that I've ever used with families in the early stages of intervention for addiction recovery. Toolbox includes a powerful trio of workbooks: the Breaking Free workbook, which is designed specifically for your teen to work through the root causes. Next, the 101 tips for quitting porn. This is a practical, daily, actionable set of steps for your teen son. And the parent guide, your personal a manual to navigate the boundaries, conversations, and emotional modeling that we talked about today. And you get the entire toolbox right now in the bookstore. It's at therapyassociates.net. It's in the bookstore. And don't wait for things to get worse before you get a structured plan in place. Now, parents, a final note of clinical honesty for some families watching this, the addiction has progressed past the point of early intervention. If your teen is compulsively acting out, completely decompensating academically or socially, or dealing with severe co-occurring mental health issues, well, an outpatient program and the workbooks may not be enough to break the cycle. And in those serious, complex cases, I highly recommend looking into specialized immersive care, such as our Star Guides Wilderness Therapy Program. Star Guides is a premier outdoor behavioral health care program that is specifically designed for adolescent boys struggling with compulsive sexual behaviors and digital addictions. It removes them from the digital noise, places them in a therapeutic wilderness environment, and intensely targets that emotional stagnation that we've talked about today. You can learn more at starguides.net. So whether it's starting with workbooks at home or seeking residential level wilderness therapy, the vital thing is that you do not stay paralyzed. Breaking the script starts with you, parents. Head over to therapyassociates.net to grab your recovery toolbox in the bookstore. Subscribe to this channel for weekly guidance. And remember, there is a path to healing for your son, and you have the power to help him find it. I'm Matt Bulkley. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.